My mutual crocodile covered this point a little bit in one of his posts, where he mentioned that Metavision appears to be so selective this arc when it relates to Isagi. And he says it in the context that Isagi, fired up using Metavision, was not able to see Charles coming. Now, I understand that claim, and I can understand Metavision being kind of iffy and selective, but Isagi not seeing Charles kind of makes sense, at least to me. First off, what do we know about Charles? Well, we know that he is a Metavision user, just like Isagi. And while Isagi's Metavision is better because he understands the talented learner and genius classifications as well as egocentrism, in terms of just base what players can see, Isagi and Charles are equal. Meaning, Charles appearing where Isagi is here with Metavision makes sense in the context that Charles can see it. He has a Metavision just like Isagi, so to say that Charles couldn't show up, that's not how that works. The second point is on how Isagi was not able to see Charles. And I think I have an explanation for that too. You want to talk about Metavision being selective with all players, and that's a different take than what I'm about to say, but Metavision has always been selective with Charles. And what I mean by that is, I think Charles intentionally creates a blind spot for Metavision, or does something to where he's outside the range of Metavision. On this panel, Isagi says, read it, predict what's about to happen when everyone here is playing soccer at 100%. And Isagi here is in flow and using Metavision, and Hiyori is using base Metavision right here against Karasu. Right there, and I believe Isagi is right there on Rain. And despite two Metavision users scanning over the entire field with one of them in flow being a heightened mental state, they couldn't see Charles. They had no idea that Charles was going to appear here or was going to do anything in this play. This also isn't the only time that we've seen Charles bypass Isagi's Metavision before. He did it again here when Isagi and Corona were linking up when he had Metavision in the PXG game. Charles appeared and intercepted Corona's pass. It's almost as if Charles, using his Metavision, can read the field and understand the most dangerous places, but also the least dangerous, and will always position himself in those least dangerous spaces to essentially become forgotten and unseeable. Not even that, but just given Charles' deadliness, he's somehow always able to make the other team forget about him. I don't know if it's his movements or just his contrarian behavior, but in this first play, Isagi goes, shit, we were so focused on guarding the goal and making our own plays that we all forgot about Charles for a moment. But what's crazy is that Charles and Isagi had a conversation and a kind of challenge to each other where Charles said, literally 2 chapters prior, let's see who can read the field better. Isagi shouldn't have forgotten that, but he did. I don't know if these are just plot holes or a specific way that Charles uses his presence, Metavision, and contrarian behavior to essentially eliminate his existence on the pitch from people's minds. But Isagi not seeing Charles here has been consistent since we first met Charles. If you're not focused on him, he disappears.